distributions, including Bernoulli, binomial, Poisson, discrete uniform, then continuous uniform distributions. I think last was the continuous uniform distribution. Okay. Now, that was the first method of obtaining sufficient statistics. That is by using the concept of conditional probability distribution. Concept of conditional probability distribution. Now we have to study the another method to construct a sufficient statistic, and that method is proposed by Neyman and Fisher, and which is known as Neyman-Fisher factorization theorem. So in this method, or in this theorem proposed by Neyman and Fisher, we first write whether based on random sample x1, x2, xn, the joint density function of x1, x2, xn, and try to classify this joint density function into two factors, such that first factor is the function of parameter and statistic, and second factor is a function of x1, x2, xn alone. That means second factor is independent of parameter or statistic. Such theorem, we call it as the Neyman-Fisher theorem. So statement is like this. We have f of x theta is the joint PDF of sample x. Here sample x is nothing but factor x. It is nothing but random sample x1, x2, xn. So that random sample is denoted by factor x. And f of vector x theta, it is the joint PDF of x1, x2, xn. So first step in order to obtain sufficient statistic is that first you are able to write the joint density function. Then a statistic Tx is a sufficient statistic for theta if and only if there exist function g of t theta and h of x such that for all sample values and all parameter theta, f of x theta is equal to g of tx comma theta into hx. That is g of, now this tx, value of statistic calculated for a specific sample, if it is denoted by t, so g of t theta into h of x. So what this theorem tells us? This theorem tells us that if the joint density function of any distribution, either discrete or continuous, if we are able to classify or factorize this joint density function into two factors, in which the first factor is the function of statistic and parameter. What is t? T is statistic and theta is parameter. So first factor is the function of statistic and parameter, and second factor is the function of x1, x2, xn alone. So it does not involve any term of the parameter. If this condition is satisfied, then this t, we call it as the sufficient statistic for parameter theta. So it is a quite simple method. Instead of using actual definition, conditional definition, we can easily obtain the sufficient statistic. Now proof of this theorem. In first part, we obtain the necessary condition for sufficient statistic, and which we call it as the necessary part. Now here we assume that Tx is sufficient statistic, and by using the conditional definition of sufficient statistic, which we have already studied, we consider Tx as sufficient statistic and use the conditional approach and show that the joint density function can be expressed in this form. So this is necessary part. So we start with this part. Tx is sufficient statistic for theta. Then conditional distribution of x given x equal to x given t, it is independent of theta. That is, joint density function f of x theta is equal to p theta of x equal to x. This is our definition. That is equal to p theta of x equal to x and capital Tx equal to small tx, or which can be written as, due to conditional distribution, probability of Tx equal to Tx into probability of x equal to x given t equal to t. X equal to x given t equal to t. Now we consider these into two parts. First is p theta of Tx equal to Tx, and second is probability of x equal to x given Tx equal to Tx. Now, since we have considered Tx as a sufficient statistic, Tx as a sufficient statistic, and by definition of sufficient statistic, the second conditional probability, it is always a constant. In earlier period we have seen, that is conditional distribution of x equal to x given t equal to t, it is constant since Tx is sufficient statistic. So it is a function of x only, as it is independent of parameter theta. So this conditional probability function is expressed as h of x. What about first probability? First probability, p theta of Tx equal to x. Now this probability includes this parameter theta as well as statistic. Therefore, this probability we denote by the function g of Tx comma theta. This first probability is a function of statistic as well as parameter, and second probability, it is independent of theta, so we have denoted it by hx. That is equal to g of t theta into hx. So this is the condition where we have started from Tx is sufficient statistic, apply conditional definition of sufficient statistic, and we have shown that this joint density function can be expressed as g of t theta into hx. So if we are able to factorize the joint density function in these two factors, in which first factor is function of t and theta, second factor is independent of parameter, then from first factor this t is called sufficient statistic of corresponding parameter theta. This is the necessary part. Now second is sufficiency part. Now we assume that the factorization given by equation 1 exists. That means we assume that this factorization is exists, or we can factorize joint density function into two factors. Okay, we assume that factorization given by equation 1, which is given in statement, is exist. Then for a fixed T0 means for given value of this statistic, some numerical value is assigned to this statistic. So T0 is specified value. So we can write p theta of t equal to T0. P theta of t equal to T0 can be written as p theta of Tx equal to T0. अगदी सिंपल आहे की ही व्हॅल्यू आपण T0 ला असाइन केलेली आहे, स्पेसिफिक व्हॅल्यू. So we can write probability of t equal to T0 means probability over theta Tx equal to T0. So this is summation of p theta of x equal to x, where Tx is equal to T0. Or now this is the joint density function, and we factorize by above condition. We consider it as summation as it is and g of Tx theta into hx. That is equal to, now we operate this summation over these two terms. Now first term is Tx, as here it depends on Tx, but actually we have taken this Tx as the T0. So it becomes g of T0 theta. That means this summation cannot operate on this, as it is a constant part independent of x1, x2, xn. Therefore, we take this g of Tx theta as g of T0 theta by replacing this Tx by T0. And this summation now operates to Hx, as Hx is a function of x1, x2, x alone. So summation over x such that Tx equal to T0. So it is the necessary condition for sufficient condition for the Tx to be sufficient statistic for parameter theta. Now next, now we apply P theta of t equal to T0 is greater than 0. That means statistic T takes a specific value T0. This probability is non-negative for some theta greater than 0. Then we write this conditional probability as x equal to x, t equal to t, can be written as probability of x equal to x intersection t equal to t divided by p theta of t equal to t. And this probability, conditional probability, equal to 0 if Tx is not equal to 0. And this probability equal to probability of x equal to x upon t equal to t if Tx equal to T0. Therefore, for this value Tx equal to T0, we can write conditional probability as x equal to x, t equal to t, which is given here. Now equal to 0, it is not necessary for further proof. So we only consider this part. Tx equal to T0. So this conditional probability is x equal to x, t equal to t. Now x equal to x probability, it is given here. X equal to x, probability of x equal to x. This probability here, g of t theta hx. And second probability t equal to T0, it is given in this equation number 2. So we substitute these two values from equation 1 and this equation. So g of T0 theta, g of T0 theta will get cancelled and we get only hx upon summation hx. Again, by the definition of conditional probability, this conditional probability is independent of parameter theta. So it is a function of hx divided by summation hx, which does not involve the term of theta, and therefore we say that Tx is sufficient statistic. To use factorization theorem to find a sufficient statistic, first we have to factorize the joint PDF or PMF into two parts, with one part depending on theta. The part that does not depend on theta constitutes the function hx. The other part that depends on theta usually depends on sample x also, and therefore through some statistic Tx, and this function is sufficient statistic for theta. So here we have considered final conclusion. If we are able to factorize this joint density function into two factors, so second factor is independent of parameter and first factor depends on this theta through the statistic Tx. Therefore, this Tx we call it as the sufficient statistic. Now second is invariance property of sufficient statistic. Invariance property. That means if x bar, it is a statistic based on x1, x2, xn. And by factorization theorem, we have shown that x bar is sufficient statistic for theta. X bar is sufficient statistic for theta. This is our result or some statement we have proved by using the Neyman-Fisher factorization theorem. Then, if x bar is sufficient for theta, then whether x bar square is sufficient for theta square? This is a question. We can observe such type of expectations in other also unbiasedness. If x bar is unbiased for theta, can we say that x bar square is unbiased for theta square? In the same way, here we have a question. If x bar is sufficient for theta, then whether x bar square is sufficient for theta square, or second, root x bar is sufficient for root theta. So in order to answer such type of questions, here we have a invariance property. So this will happen. When this will happen, it is sufficient statistic for theta and u is one-to-one function of theta, then u is also a sufficient statistic for theta. Now question arises of one-to-one function. म्हणजे थोडक्यात काय आहे सांगतो हे स्टेटमेंट तुमच्या लगेच लक्षात येईल. एक्स बार सफिशियंट फॉर थीटा आहे, इथे दिलेलं आहे आपल्याला टी बी ए सफिशियंट फॉर थीटा. टीच्या ऐवजी आपण स्टॅटिस्टिक एक्स बार समजू. म्हणजे या पहिल्या वाक्याचा अर्थ काय झाला, एक्स बार इज सफिशियंट फॉर थीटा. ओके. सेकंड, यू बी वन टू वन फंक्शन ऑफ थीटा. आता वन टू वन फंक्शन कशाला म्हणायचं, समजा यू फंक्शन मी असं घेतलं एक्स बार स्क्वेअर. एक्स बार स्क्वेअर वन टू वन फंक्शन आहे का, एक्स बार स्क्वेअर वन टू वन फंक्शन आहे का, कशावरून चेक करायचं. समजा यू इक्वल टू एक्स बार स्क्वेअर घेतलं तर एक्स बार ची व्हॅल्यू प्लस ऑर मायनस रूट यू येईल का नाही. यू इज इक्वल टू एक्स बार इम्प्लाइज u equal to x bar square implies x bar equal to plus or minus root u. म्हणजे याला वन टू वन फंक्शन आपल्याला म्हणता येणार नाही. वन टू वन फंक्शन कशाला म्हणायचं, समजा u इज इक्वल टू एक्स बार सफिशियंट फॉर थीटा आहे आणि u इक्वल टू आपण असं फंक्शन घेतलं 2x बार प्लस 3. u इक्वल टू काय घेतलं आपण 2x बार प्लस 3. Now u is equal to 2x bar plus 3. It is a one-to-one function. But u equal to theta square plus any constant or simply theta square. It is not one-to-one function. मग आता याच्यावरून आपल्याला इंटरप्रिटेशन काय करता येईल, एक क्विक सांगायचं. x bar is sufficient for theta. It is our concrete statement. First question is whether x bar square is sufficient statistic for theta square. No, because x bar square is not one-to-one function. So it is not sufficient statistic for theta square and even for theta also. Second, if x bar is sufficient statistic for theta, whether root x bar is sufficient for theta or root theta. No, because root x bar is again not one-to-one function. Now third question, if x bar is sufficient for theta, whether 2x bar plus 1 is sufficient for theta. Yes, if because 2x bar plus 1 is one-to-one function, so 2x bar plus 1 is sufficient statistic for theta, is sufficient statistic for theta. So here from this theorem again we can say that sufficient statistic may not be unique. समजा x bar sufficient statistic आपण थीटा साठी घेतलं, दुसऱ्या एखाद्या विद्यार्थ्याने 2x bar plus 1 घेतलं, वन टू वन फंक्शन असल्यामुळे ते सफिशियंट स्टॅटिस्टिक होऊ शकते. एकानं समजा 5x bar plus 10 घेतलं, it is also sufficient statistic for theta. Therefore, we can say that there can be, already we have seen one numerical result, that is sufficient statistic may not be unique. There can be infinitely many sufficient statistics for the same parameter theta. So we will prove now this. Statement is T is sufficient for theta and U is one-to-one function of theta, then U is also a sufficient statistic. Proof. Since T is sufficient statistic, by Neyman-Fisher factorization theorem, f of x theta is equal to g of t theta into hx. हे आपला फॅक्टरायझेशन थेरमचा क्रायटेरिया आहे. f of x theta is equal to g of t theta into hx. Now suppose u is equal to phi of t, where phi is one-to-one function of t. Phi u of t is equal to phi t is one-to-one function. So by one-to-one function, if function is one-to-one, then inverse function exists. Therefore, this t is equal to phi inverse u, we get the inverse function, and we substitute this t equal to phi inverse u in this statement of Neyman-Fisher factorization theorem. So what we get? We get f of x theta is equal to g of, now this t is replaced by phi inverse u comma theta into hx. So here we call it as function g. It is function of t and theta. Now it is a function of phi inverse u and theta. So this function we call it as the g star theta. G star of u comma theta. G star of u comma theta into hx as it is. Now again it satisfies the condition of Neyman-Fisher factorization theorem. If theorem is given in this form, f of x theta equal to g of t theta hx, where g of t theta is the function of t and theta. G of t theta is function of t and theta. Then we say that this t is sufficient for theta. T is sufficient for theta. आता g च्या ऐवजी आपलं g स्टार आलंय आणि u च्या t च्या ऐवजी काय आले? u आले. मग ह्याचं इंटरप्रिटेशन कसं करता येईल? So joint density function is factorized into two factors such that first factor is a function of u and theta, second factor is independent of parameter theta, and therefore by Neyman-Fisher factorization theorem we say that this u is sufficient statistic for theta. But what is u? U is one-to-one function of sufficient statistic. So one-to-one function of sufficient statistic is also a sufficient statistic for that parameter. Remark. Note that the above result may not hold if u is not a one-to-one function. U is not one-to-one function. For example, in sampling from normal distribution, if x bar is sufficient for parameter mu, but x bar square is not sufficient for mu, because this x bar square is not a one-to-one function. हे x bar square च्या ऐवजी जर समजा 2x bar plus 1 असतं, then that 2x bar plus 1 is sufficient statistic for mu. But x bar square, it is not one-to-one function, therefore it is not sufficient statistic. So this is the important remark. Now based on this sufficiency Neyman-Fisher factorization theorem, now we will solve some examples. Okay. This complete random sample or entire random sample is always a sufficient statistic. This result we have already proved by using conditional definition. Now we can also prove this result by using Neyman-Fisher factorization theorem. How to use? Let us see. So x equal to x1, x2, xn is a random sample from the distribution having PDF or PMF f of x theta. Now the joint distribution of this x1, x2, xn can be written as f of x theta. That is equal to f of x theta. That is f of x theta आहे तसंच घेतलं आपण. आणि नेमन फिशर साठी आपल्याला दोन पार्ट लागतात. दोन कोणते पार्ट लागतात? फर्स्ट पार्ट टी आणि थिटाचा फंक्शन असणारा फर्स्ट पार्ट लागतो. आणि सेकंड पार्ट काय लागतो? इंडिपेंडंट ऑफ पॅरामीटर. मग इथं आपण हा PDF आहे तसाच लिहिला आणि त्याला फक्त 1 न मल्टिप्लाय केलं. 1 न मल्टिप्लाय केल्यानंतर ओरिजिनल जॉईंट PDF मध्ये काही फरक पडणार नाही. परंतु हे 1 न मल्टिप्लाय का केलंय आपण? तर 1 ही व्हॅल्यू काय आहे? इंडिपेंडंट ऑफ पॅरामीटर. म्हणजे h ऑफ x काय असतं आपलं? फंक्शन ऑफ x1, x2, xn. तर आपण h ऑफ x हे फंक्शन असं लिहू शकतो, x1 रेस टू 0, x2 रेस टू 0 किंवा xn रेस टू 0. So all any quantity raised to 0 is 1. Therefore we adjust 1 here, and this first part now we call it as g of tx theta. या थीटाला थीटा आहे तसंच ठेवलं. f च्या ऐवजी आपल्या नेमन फिशर फॅक्टरायझेशन प्रमाणे g घेतलं आणि x एंटायर रँडम सॅम्पल आहे तेच आपण स्टॅटिस्टिक घेतलं आणि हे 1 जे आहे त्याला आपण hx म्हणलं. So Neyman-Fisher factorization theorem is satisfied here, and since it's satisfied, in this case this tx we call sufficient statistic for theta. But what is tx? Tx is nothing but our entire random sample. Tx is factor x. That means entire random sample is always a sufficient statistic. So when you may have asked the questions about this, then you can prove this result either by using conditional probability definition of sufficient statistic or by using the Neyman-Fisher factorization theorem criteria. The same can be applicable to order statistic also. So x1, x2, xn is a random sample from PDF or PMF f of x theta. Now this random sample can be arranged in ordered arrangement, x1 less than equal to x2 less than equal to xn, corresponding order statistic. Now this is the joint density function f of x theta equal to f of x1 comma x2 comma xn theta. Now in this joint density function, if we change the order of this x1, x2, xn, then the original function may not be affected. That means instead of this x1, we take smallest value of this x1, x2, xn first. Then next largest. So original joint density function can be written here f of x1, x2, xn theta. Since x1, x2, xn are interchangeable, and therefore we call it as tx. This first part we call it as tx. F we call it as g, and hx we can take 1 as in earlier case. Here we have taken hx equal to 1. So here also we take hx equal to 1. So Neyman-Fisher factorization theorem is easily applicable, and therefore this tx we call it as the sufficient statistic. But this tx is nothing but our ordered sample x1, x2, xn, and hence we say that the order statistic is also a statistic for parameter theta. Now next example. We have a random sample from Poisson distribution with parameter theta. Find sufficient statistic for theta. Already we have solved this example by using conditional probability approach. Already solved this example by using conditional probability approach. So here we solve this example by using Neyman-Fisher factorization theorem. So first we write joint density function of x1, x2, xn. This joint density function can be written as joint density function of x1, x2, xn is nothing but product of these densities n times. सुरुवातीला x इक्वल टू x1 ठेवायचं, एक पीडीएफ मिळेल. त्यानंतर x इक्वल टू x2, दुसरा पीडीएफ x इक्वल टू xn, nth पीडीएफ. आणि ह्या प्रत्येक पीडीएफ मध्ये e रेज टू मायनस थीटा कॉमन आहे. त्यामुळे n टाइम्स प्रॉडक्ट घेतल्यानंतर त्याची पॉवर काय मिळेल आपल्याला, e रेज टू मायनस n थीटा. आता प्रॉडक्ट मध्ये पहिल्याची पॉवर थीटा रेज टू x1, दुसरा थीटा रेज टू x2 अप टू थीटा रेज टू xn. प्रॉडक्ट पूर्ण झाल्यानंतर त्याची पॉवर काय मिळेल आपल्याला, थीटा रेज टू समेशन xi. आणि डिनॉमिनेटरला प्रॉडक्ट xi I इक्वल टू 1 to n फॅक्टोरियल. सो दिस इज द जॉइंट पीडीएफ. आणि हा जॉइंट पीडीएफ आपल्याला डायरेक्टली लिहिता येणं अपेक्षित आहे, कारण आपण लाईक्लीहुड फंक्शन MLE कसं काढायचा, तर लाईक्लीहुड फंक्शन म्हणजेच काय, जॉइंट डेन्सिटी फंक्शन. आणि हा जो पार्ट आहे, हाऊ टू राईट लाईक्लीहुड फंक्शन और जॉइंट डेन्सिटी फंक्शन, वी हॅव ऑलरेडी स्टडीड इन TYBSc लेवल. ओके, नाउ दिस इज द जॉइंट डेन्सिटी फंक्शन. What is our next job? Our next job is to identify the terms in this joint density function which depends on, first thing parameter and second thing is statistic. And second part that we have to identify the term which is independent of parameter. If we observe this expression carefully, then this numerator term e raised to minus n theta, it depends on theta, so it will goes to first part. Now theta raised to summation xi, it depends on parameter as well as statistic, so it also goes to first part. Denominator product xi factorial, this term is independent of parameter theta, so this term goes to second factor. Therefore we can write this joint density function as e raised to minus n theta, theta raised to n x bar as the first part, which we call it as g of tx theta. It is a function of tx. Here tx is nothing but the function of x1, x2, xn, and in this expression the function of x1, x2, xn is x bar. And in second bracket we have keep the term which is independent of parameter, that is 1 upon product xi factorial. Now by Neyman-Fisher factorization theorem, it is in the form of g of tx theta into hx, where this tx is nothing but x bar. Tx is nothing but x bar. Theta, it is a function, g of t theta is a function. And hx, in this case this hx is nothing but 1 upon product xi factorial. Hence by Neyman-Fisher factorization theorem, this x bar we call it as sufficient statistic for parameter theta. So this is the answer of this question. Now second, x1, x2, xn IID random variables from discrete uniform with common PMF 1 upon n, x equal to 1 to n. So f of xn 1 upon n, x equal to 1 to n. त्यामध्ये पॅरामीटर काय आहे, पॅरामीटर ऑफ दिस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इज कॅपिटल n. So we write this joint density function as f of factor xn into 1 upon n raised to n. 1 upon n raised to n. म्हणजेच काय, हा जो PMF आहे, या PMFचा स्मॉल n टाइम्स प्रॉडक्ट घेतला तर आपल्याला 1 upon n raised to n मिळेल. 1/n⁻n इथपर्यंतचा पार्ट आपल्याला मिळतो. परंतु हा जर पार्ट पाहिला आपण तर यामध्ये x1 x2 xn असणारी टर्म कुठंही येत नाही. फक्त 1/n⁻n एवढं जॉईंट डेन्सिटी फंक्शन होऊ शकत नाही, कारण यामध्ये x1 x2 xnच्या टर्म येत नाहीत किंवा स्टॅटिस्टिक आपण आयडेंटिफाय करू शकत नाही. त्यामुळं या PMFला जॉईंट PMFला आपण phi of 1x1 आणि phi of xn यानं मल्टिप्लाय करायचं. ह्या दोन्हीची व्हॅल्यू जर पाहिली, phi of 1x1 it is a binary function. Phi of 1x1 is a binary function which takes value 1 or 0, and this also takes value 1 or 0. And how to define this binary function? For example, phi of AB असं जर फंक्शन घेतलं तर phi of AB takes value 1 if A is less than equal to B, and it takes value 0 if A is greater than B. तर ते फंक्शन इथे वापरायचं. Phi of 1x1 it takes value 1 if this 1 less than equal to x1. आणि आपल्याला माहित आहे x1 म्हणजे काय, स्मॉलेस्ट ऑब्झर्वेशन आहे, आणि x चा लोएस्ट सपोर्ट सुद्धा काय आहे, 1 आहे. देअरफॉर धिस फंक्शन टेक्स व्हॅल्यू 1. त्यानंतर n हे काय आहे, x चं अप्पर लिमिट आहे, सपोर्टचं अप्पर लिमिट x आहे, आणि आपलं रँडम सॅम्पल x1 x2 xn जे आहे त्यामधलं लार्जेस्ट सॅम्पल ऑब्झर्वेशन हे काय असणार आहे, n किंवा n पेक्षा लहान असणार आहे. आपला सपोर्ट जर x1 1 2 अप टू कॅपिटल N असेल तर आपलं रँडम सॅम्पल मधलं लार्जेस्ट ऑब्झर्वेशन सुद्धा n किंवा n पेक्षा लहान असलं पाहिजे. सो phi of xn n it takes value 1 if xn is less than equal to n, and which takes value 0 if xn greater than n. But this xn never greater than n, therefore its value is also equal to 1, its value is also equal to 1. So multiplied by 1 to the given joint PMF does not affect its value. हे दोन टर्म ऍडजस्ट का केलेले आहेत याचं कारण तुम्हाला पुढच्या स्टेपमध्ये लक्षात येईल. कारण ह्याच स्टेजला जर आपण थांबलो आणि ह्याचं जर तुम्हाला फॅक्टरायझेशन करा म्हणून सांगितलं तर यामध्ये दोन अडचणी येतात. पहिली अडचण कोणती, यामध्ये x1 x2 xn आणि पॅरामीटर n ह्या दोन्हीवर जॉईंट असणारी कुठलीही टर्म नाही. दुसरं hx साठी जे आपल्याला इंडिपेंडंट x1 x2 xn चं फंक्शन लागतं ते फंक्शन इथं आपल्याला दिसून येत नाही. म्हणून काय केलं आपण, या दोन टर्म ऍडजस्ट केलेल्या आहेत, आणि हे दोन्हीच्याही व्हॅल्यू काय आहेत, आपल्या सपोर्ट ऑफ x प्रमाणे या दोन्हीच्याही व्हॅल्यू काय आहेत, 1 1 आहे. Now we consider this entire term as the joint density function. This entire term as the joint density function. आता next, observe carefully and find the terms which are dependent on parameter n and the statistic based on x1 x2 xn. तर हे जर पाहिलं आपण 1/n⁻n हे पॅरामीटर n वर डिपेंडंट आहे, त्यामुळे ही टर्म पहिल्या ब्रॅकेटमध्ये येणार. क्लिअर. सेकंड टर्म बघा, phi of 1x1, यामध्ये 1 कॉन्स्टंट आहे, x1 म्हणजे स्मॉलेस्ट ऑब्झर्वेशन आहे, यामध्ये पॅरामीटर n आपल्याला कुठेही दिसून येत नाही, त्यामुळे ही जी टर्म आहे ही टर्म आपण सेकंड ब्रॅकेटमध्ये टाकली, इंडिपेंडंट ऑफ पॅरामीटर. तिसरी जी टर्म आहे phi of xn n, so it depends on parameter n, also it depends on the statistic x1 x2 xn. x1 x2 xn माहित असेल तरच आपल्याला लार्जेस्ट सॅम्पल ऑब्झर्वेशन हे काढता येतं. त्यामुळं ही टर्म आपण पहिल्या ब्रॅकेटमध्ये घेतली. म्हणजे पहिला ब्रॅकेट काय आला आता आपला, फर्स्ट ब्रॅकेट इज the function of parameter and statistic. Second bracket is function of sample observations only. So Neyman-Fisher factorization theorem is satisfied, and from first part, this xn, we call it as the sufficient statistic for capital N. What is xn? Xn is the largest sample observation. So for discrete uniform distribution, largest sample observation is sufficient statistic for parameter theta. Then next is continuous uniform distribution. Continuous uniform distribution. PDF आहे f of x theta equal to 1 upon theta. त्यानंतर समजा आपण ह्याचं जॉइंट डेन्सिटी फंक्शन लिहिलं प्रॉडक्ट ऑफ f of xi theta. तर काय येईल 1 upon theta into 1 upon theta into 1 upon theta. So 1 upon theta raised to n. यामध्ये सुद्धा आपल्याला